So problem 6.4 in homework that I'm giving you here, that's not for credit. You don't need to solve that. I'm actually going over these as a review for you. So problem 6.4 in Jacobs, you've just completed a pilot run of 10 units of a major product and found the processing time for each unit was as follows. Use exhibit 4A.5 and 4A.6. We're not going to do that part of the question. I just want to have you understand how to do the basic learning curve. Okay, so they give us this data. That's unit 1. We don't really say here, but if I click in the space, that would be what unit. Of course, should be fairly obvious. And we said that this is going to take, doesn't even say whether this is seconds, minutes, hours, or whatever. I'll just throw it in there as hours. Okay, they don't even specify what the unit of time is here. Okay, and the question was, according to the pilot run, what would you estimate the learning rate to be? Now, if you looked at the previous, if you were in class there on Friday, and if you followed the previous video that I put out on 6.2 and 6.3, if you look at those videos, I actually go into this, and when in a list of 10, okay, remember the definition. If we come back over here to chapter 2, problem 6. The learning curve theory states that as output doubles, the time to perform a task decreases by a fixed amount. And that fixed amount is your learning curve. Okay? Okay. So, so in a list of 10 units, you have to remember that we're looking for any time the production doubles. So we can double from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, and don't forget that we double from 3 to 6, and when we double from 5 to 10, we can take readings there for what the learning curves looks like to get a more accurate reading. Okay, so you really want to use 5. You can use 5 estimates out of a list of 10 here. Okay, so how do we do the calculations here? We'll put down the learning curve here. Learning curves, and we can calculate it for this. It's going to be equal to this time. It looks like a pretty steep learning curve. Okay, 65% it's coming up as. So I'm going to guess pretty much we're going to find 65% as we go through here. But you can see that this is 65.97, so that's really 66% if we round that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is grab this column, and I'm going to format it for percentage to 1 decimal. We haven't been told. I think in the answer area online it tells you to go to 1 decimal place. So now we can also calculate the learning curve from here, 380 over this. Okay, and okay, so actually look at that number. It's 59.4 or 60%. There's quite a bit of difference here. We're going to find out what it really is. Keep going here. So when we double from 4 to 8, we can take a reading here and say how long it took here compared to how long it took for the 4th unit, and it came out to 54. So if you notice that these numbers are varying quite a bit. All right, so now we can look at the doubling. I'll color code these because this is sort of one series in here, and I'll color them yellow. All right, and then when we double from 3 to 6, we'll do that in orange. We'll just make sure that this helps us remember where we doubled from. And then 5 to 10, we'll make that, I don't know, green. That was green. Look, yeah, green. With pretty harsh colors here. Okay, so the learning curve from 6 to 3 would be equal to time for 6 over the time it took for 3. All right, and then we look at our green spots. Okay, so from 5 to 10. So this learning curve is going to be the time it took to do the 10th compared to the time it took to do the 5th. Okay, now what do we do to calculate when we have these different estimates from different readings? Okay, and what we do is we just simply average them. So we're going to average that. And when you do this in Excel, be very careful. You just can't grab the column because it will use zeros wherever there's nothing in there. It will use zeros and you'll get the wrong average in here. Okay, so the average that we calculated was 59.7, and you just have to try in the book or on the online version of this, when you go to do it, you have to see whether they wanted you to use all 5 of these, or sometimes they just look from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, and 4 to 8. They don't push the point too far. But in real life, you want to get as many data points as possible, and that's why I'm teaching it that use all the available information you can.